All right, so I'm just watching this crypto real quick before we get started. But if you guys can let me know if my music's too loud, that would help out. So we're going to get to the hash washing soon. Just let me know if the music's too loud, if you can. But I am just checking up on snipe work on Pump Fun. I'm up about, let's see, I guess at 30.9. I got it around 17,000. So I'm up almost, 80, 90% or so. But this will be going live for a bit. I just wanted to check up real quick as I prepare and get ready. Hello, Sarah. I'm currently just checking a trade real quick on Pump Fund, and then I'm going to get started on perfecting this hash technique that we got down. I don't know if you're in here for any cannabis related stuff, but I mainly work on cannabis stuff. But can you let me know if I'm gonna turn the music up. Can you let me know if it's too loud and you can't hear me? Let me mute these guys. What's your color? Okay, so we're gonna get started. We've got our parchment down. I'm gonna ground this table next. So we're gonna ground this table here. If you've been in the chat at all before, you'll know what's going on. If not, I'll plug it into the wall and then I clip this alligator clip to this table here. And then now this table will be grounded. We're going to take some of our hash and then we're going to run it through the hashback. So if any of you guys have been here before, you'll know what the hashback is, but this table has now been grounded with this blue clip. So we are grounded. And then now, let me set you guys up so you can watch the hashback process. So now we're going to take some of our starting material. We're going to take some of our starting material now, and we're going to run it through the hashback. So, if you guys can give me a second, I'm going to go grab our starting material. And then, if anybody's interested, we can go through the hashback process and the static tech process. So, if you guys have any questions, if any of you are in here from Reddit, or if any of you are in here for cannabis related stuff, cannabis questions, cannabis business, the industry, techniques, just go ahead and ask, and we can figure it all out together. So, I'm going to do one last pass. If you guys are in here and you're going to watch, I'm going to do a pass on this with the hashback. What you gonna do? Not hash browns or hash brownies, no, but I'm gonna take this hash here and I'm gonna run it through this hashback system, which you'll see right now in a second. And then we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna pull out all the dust and contaminants and stalks and shit we don't want. We're gonna collect strictly the heads. So if you want to see how we go ahead and do that, this is how we clean everything up. And if you guys are smoking hash, making hash, or buying hash, and your guys aren't cleaning it up, this is how you do it. So it's gonna get a little bit loud for a second here. You take this, and then you run it through here. As you can see, everything's getting tossed around. There's airflow going in there. So during this part, there's a screen on here. I forgot to mention. So I put this is a protective screen, but under that there's another screen that we put on, and this other screen on the bottom is a 75 micron. Then we just have this that we, as a protective barrier for that screen. But then as these brushes rub up against this, mixed with the air and everything, what we want to do is we want to activate a charge with everything on here because there's heads, stalks, contaminants, dust, and the heads have an opposite charge from the stuff we don't want. So we're going to charge it up right now with this hashback. We're going to spread it thin here, and then I'll show you guys the cool part. Whoa, man, just dropped that. Okay, so you do this a little bit. Get it moving around a little bit more. And then, now that we are done with that process, hold on, I gotta cool it down in here. It's a little too warm for this, but we're gonna do it right now. One pass. We're gonna take this after it was just ran through the hashback. Let me show you guys. So now, after it's been ran through the hashback, we take it And we're going to spread it thin. And if you were here earlier, you saw that this table has been grounded. So that helps. Now we're going to spread it as thin as we can. So I'll show you guys in a second once I'm done spreading it. So, and that is all of it, almost. Okay, so about that. What the fuck is this? Said hi. Someone called CI. We don't tolerate drugs here. Okay, I don't think they're gonna take too much time out of that, buddy, but you go do you, my friend. This is all legal in the state of New Mexico. John Richmond. Okay, so now we're gonna take this Teflon rod. Now we're gonna take, you good, baby, you good. Good money, baby. So now we take this Teflon rod that's being charged up with a static charge. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take my gloves off because I learned yesterday that it works better with the gloves off. It seems like I'm still doing R&D and I'm honing in on little tricks and tips. So, if you want to see something cool, and if you're here for the right cause, you're gonna take this, give it a good little static charge. We are learning. Um, this is all legal cannabis stuff, so we are learning how to refine our hash here and pull out with static all the contaminants and dust and stalks that we don't want. We're trying to separate only the heads. So I'm going to show you this. So now I charged this up. And keep in mind, I've cleaned this for a couple days now. So it should be pretty clean. But now with this charge, I'll take it. And then we just slowly hover. Just slowly hover. And then as we hover, because there's this charge, it's going to pick up everything that we don't want and leave behind what we do want. So I've cleaned this up for a couple of days. I think this is probably my seventh or eighth pass. But I'm just doing a lot of R&D on the technique before I scale it up. So right now I'm just using this one rod, but I think next I'm going to get a Teflon sheet and create some kind of box that I can hold over that has more surface area. So this is after a quick pass right now, just to show you guys in a second here what we collect. And if you know anything about hash and the different grades, this is how you get to your 6-star hash and your Piatellas. So I did that. Now it's hard. Okay, I'm gonna have to, I think. So as I turn, if you can see, you guys see all that stuff. It's really hard to show it well on here. Granted, I've been cleaning this a bit, so there's less and less. Oh, thank you, Jedi. So, is that better? So, all that stuff we get out of there. And once we get that all out of, that's why, so I've done this as like my seventh pass, so I'll probably do like two more on this one, and then I'll call it because I have a lot more to clean up than this. But yeah, I'm just honing the technique in, and then next we're gonna expand it from this rod to I'm thinking about getting a metal, or I mean a Teflon sheet, probably like this big. I'll probably make a wood frame into like maybe a wooden frame with a handle, Teflon sheet, I think, on the outside, and then just hold it upside down and just run over the table at once instead of using this just this little rod here. Hold on, I gotta check a trade real quick that I'm in. I gotta make sure I'm still up. Oh God, no, I'm down. Well, I'm not down. I'm still up, but it dropped what 6 grand market cap. So, but I am still up, so that's good. Okay, let's get some different music going, and then we'll get back to work. Actually, um, I appreciate you. Oh, so you were just fucking with me, John Richard. Are you a user yourself? So we'll get some music going, and then we'll get back to the lab. But John, if you're still in here, um, what do you usually smoke on, or what is your preference? Okay, so we just did the first pass. Now we'll do another pass. So now we're gonna charge this up. And that's another thing. I need to get something that reads the amount of charge on something because I don't know if I think maybe less is more. I'm not sure, but now this is charged up. We got this grounded table here, and I like to check the charge on this by putting it up to the parchment and seeing the corners move towards the rod. So I don't know, it has a good charge. But I'm gonna do this like this one more time just to show whoever's new in here this process, and then I'll show you step one before this process. If you guys are here for that purpose. See, and sometimes it won't pick stuff as much stuff up, and I'm not sure if that's because I've done like 8 passes on this now and it's pretty freaking clean, or if I fuck up the charge somewhere along the way or make it weaker. So I am trying to find people that are good with how charges and everything work. And if I touch the parchment or the hash, then I fuck everything. So I have to be very methodical. But yeah, I can tell I need to run this through the hashback, I believe, one more time here. Yeah, because this time around we didn't. I mean, we collected stuff, but not as much, unless it's just clean. But there are some things I see in there that I'd like to get out with this. This pass was very light, but if you see it almost against my shirt there, my beard, you can see some of the stuff we collected. But what I think I need to do is I think I need to put it through the hashback one more time. Um, so I'm gonna collect it again. We're gonna collect, And then we're gonna throw it at the freezer for a couple of minutes. In that couple of minutes, I'm gonna go watch this trade I'm in. We'll let the hash get nice and cold, and then we'll come back to step one again. So let's try to collect it without the card first. I did fuck up and forget to turn the AC on before I started, and ooh, it is 72 in here right now, and the lowest I can get it is about 66 to 65. Ideally, I need it to be around 50, 55, but uh, 72, I would say, way too. Luckily, you get some cold fast in here. Okay. Okay, so now we're collecting what we just cleaned. We're going to refreeze it, and then we're going to do another pass through. I don't know if you guys can see it from that angle, but then we're going to do another pass through the hashback. And then I think after the next hashback, that'll be the last hashback for this batch that I've been working on. And then we can start the next batch. And if you guys are here for the next batch, that's a sight to see because, like I said, this is my seventh or eighth pass on this, so it's pretty clean. But if you want to see from scratch, like the first time doing it, how much stuff we'll pull out. You know what? That'd be actually, if any of you guys do want to stick around and see that, that would be cool because you've seen the post of, doing a handful of passes. Now you can see it from the beginning just to get an idea of how much we actually refine everything that we do compared to a lot of other people. Okay, so finish loading this up. Last little bit. There's the last bit in there. I mean, I've done so many passes on this. This should be as clean as it comes. So I'm gonna go throw this back in the freezer. Back in the freezer. Okay. So we're just taking a 5-minute break before we get back to work. So I'm going to finish my split. Oops. I'm gonna go and finish my split while we have the lab cooling down and the hash getting frozen, and then we'll do one more hashback refinement, and then we'll probably run the wand over it like 2 or 3 more times And then after we do that, we will start a new batch. And then if you guys want to see the new batch, that's where you'll really get to see the. Right now, you're seeing posts like after some cleans, but if you want to watch it from the beginning to see what we pull out, it's pretty fucking cool. I'm gonna work on too. Like right now, I'm trying to get some help, but I'm gonna work on when I start streaming. I want to have different camera angles, and I want to get a close-up angle of, or close-up shot of when I'm doing the wand or whatever the tech is, that you guys can see firsthand what it's picking up. Thanks, John. Appreciate you. I'm gonna go outside. Actually, I'm trying to cool the lab down, so I don't want to keep the door open. So we're just on a little bit of a break. Once this is done, we'll go back in and we'll get to work. So if you're here for cannabis, just L just tease literally sucks. L just it makes cars. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that means. And I'm like new to streaming, so I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know if you guys like some of these are just spam or I mean I'm pretty sure John Richmond is it's real. Okay, we're almost done. Then we're gonna go in. Just got a couple more hits. If you got here through, I actually didn't even post it on Reddit today. I did yesterday, but maybe I should go do a Reddit post saying that I'm live. Worked out the last couple of days. I don't know. So we'll go in right now. We'll go in and get started. Don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. All right. If you're in here for hash or cannabis, throw a thumbs up. I'd like to know who's actually trying to learn some good new techniques versus kind of who just stumbled in here on their own. Give me a second. Hmm. Okay. Streaming, watching the stream. All right, let's get to work. You guys came here to learn some shit. Let's fucking learn some shit. So we're gonna go and get our starting material. Right, and if you're here to learn about cannabis, if you're here to learn about hash, if you're here to make your skills better, drop a thumbs up. Let me know. ask some questions. Let's engage. Okay. So we got our starting material here. We have our hash vac set up right here. So if any of you are interested on how the hash vac works, is we got the shot vac set up to a dust separator, and this will collect everything out of this jar that we don't want. So anything under 75 microns is going to get sucked out through here. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and get started again. So we're going to switch out this lid. We're going to replace the lid with this one. If you've been in here, that is a 75 micron screen down there. And we just have like this guard to protect it. So what's going to happen in a second here is this is our 120 micron hash, 75 micron screen. I'm going to turn this hash back on, and then this is going to suck everything through for the most part that's under 75 microns that we don't want in our high grade 6-star hash. It's going to pull all that out, but simultaneously it's going to add a lot of airflow and friction, which is going to activate a charge in the cannabis in the hash. We got negative and positives. We got the stalks, contaminants, dust, and then we got the heads. They have opposing charges. So once we activate it, you guys are gonna see we're gonna activate it, and this is one of the last few passes I'm doing. So if you guys stay on, you're gonna see something towards the end, and then in about 10 minutes, I'm gonna start the one from the beginning, so you can see how much gets taken out. So after we do that, it's activated. We're gonna charge up this Teflon rod, spread the hash thin on there, and then this is gonna collect everything that we don't want. So we're gonna get this hash back going real quick. It's gonna get a little loud. So if you guys look, you'll see it's all blowing around in there. That's what we want. So I'll do this for about another minute. I'll do this for about another minute. Really get everything out that I don't want. And then after we get out what we don't want, okay. So we finished that process. Now I'm gonna turn a little bit right there. Now we'll go to step 2, which we're gonna spread this thin over this table here. And I'll show you after I spread this thin what I've done to the table beforehand. So I'm gonna try to spread this as thin as I can throughout this. It's really, you're going through with a wand and you're trying to collect stuff. So if you have clumpy spots, you get less. But you know what? Yesterday I was doing experiments and I did collect a lot of stuff when it was clumped up, but it seems to make the most sense to have it spread thin. And the key is I'm trying not to touch the table at all or anything because I'm still learning about different charges on things and how they react to stuff. Not the fucking smartest guy at all, so I know I'm not supposed to touch the table or like the hash at all because I think my body will affect the charge on that. But let me show you. So this table is being grounded right there. It's plugged into the wall. If you saw, this hash has been activated now. So since it's been activated, now we're gonna go through and take this. This is a microfiber cloth. This is a Teflon rod. You know what? I'm gonna get a new microfiber cloth. Just those ones I've been using for a couple of days. To get. So let's get a nice, clean, fresh one here. So now we got a fresh micro cloth. And if any of you are good at static and stuff in here, I before I would rub it a bunch of times for like a while. I do think it's less is more. I'm not sure, but figuring it out. And I learned like if I don't wear gloves, it collects more stuff. It seems like. So I don't know. The next batch, we're gonna start everything from the ground up, R&D wise, with these different things to see what affects everything. We got the charge. Now we're gonna go through and just as close as we can get without touching the table. We're gonna hover right over this about. Ideally, you want to try to get as close as you can, like a half an inch off, but I get a little bit closer or further sometimes. See, and it's barely collecting anything right now. I'm pretty sure that's because I cleaned the shit out of it. So, yeah, there's still some stuff getting collected, but I would say this hash is probably 93 to 95% clean now. It does seem like there's a weak charge though. So there's way less on this, but I'm pretty sure that's because it's been cleaned out. Um, I twirl it, you might be able to see some specks. I'm not sure if you can. But that's the stuff we don't want, right? So I'm gonna call it on this one, and then we're gonna go right now, and I'm gonna put it in the Curador to start aging. So if you guys want to see that, I'll show you our Curador. We're aging a lot of stuff, and I'll show you a product that we are the only people currently in New Mexico making, and we might be doing a collaboration with Snoop Dogg on it. So you guys can be patient for a second while I collect this. So I'm gonna try something now. Now it's piled up. I see a couple specks in there. I'm gonna see if I can collect it with this. Yeah, see, I'm like collecting some stuff. Okay, so if you're still on, I'll show you like a little bit. It's just collected. Um, See, I see there. Let's see. Not sure if you can see that. Okay. Yet again, this jar might be too big. But now we'll take this. We're doing lots of R&D right now, so we're gonna take this now. We're gonna put it in our cooler door, and we're gonna let that age for about 4 months. The last one that's been aging, it looked just like the sand. So this has been aging now for about 2 weeks. This is going in today. So let me write on the let me go get a Sharpie so I can write on the lid. Okay, and today is, I believe, what, the 19th, so, right, age 9, 19, 25. Now, starting.